a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Small Talk. Well, I have my guest here sitting in the Zoom room with me, and I was trying to pronounce her name, and I'm worried that I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Ghazaleh Nozamani.
So welcome. Now, you were here to talk about a special event, right? Or fundraising?
Fundraising, yes. So it's basically I'm president of nonprofit Love Without Border, supporting refugees.
Okay.
So this nonprofit basically got registered by government in 2023. And the goal of this nonprofit to make 3 off-the-ground tiny houses and settle the refugees and sponsor them.
Oh.
Yeah. And this dream started when I was refugee.
Okay.
So because I know all the process, how is it exhausting and tired when you are a refugee, and how the kind of paperwork is just kind of ridiculous. And so when somebody sponsored me to able come to Canada, I made the kind of promise to myself and humanity that if one day I'm able to pay back to the community and someone else, I'm going to pay back. And I think it's time for me to pay back. That's why I registered this nonprofit, and I made the board. I start to collect and bring the people as a volunteer. And because I'm Red Seal Journey person in Canada, so lots of people become volunteer on a trade, different trade to help me to build those off the ground. But is that basically we need money still for material,
for sure.
And also set up the septic. Although septic, we are in a good process. Basically, engineer came and they are trying to design, depend on my land and all the restriction they have. And one company, very good company, actually, they are donating $20,000 from the cost.
Oh, nice.
Exactly. So it's a huge kind of part of the fundraising. But still we need at least $40,000
yeah.
with the engineer cost and design and all those things. And hopefully after septic, we can start to build the first tiny house. And every year we will add one more tiny house. So we will welcome some single men or women or any other gender or non-gender and or couple.
Right.
Depend on the situation. Actually, church is Alliance Church in Yarrow. It's behind the scene, also working with me, because as a single person, I cannot have a 3-family sponsor. I cannot sponsor 3 family.
Okay.
Just the church can do as a community, and
sure.
Kind of the people gathering together, and is possible for do that. But it's a huge thing having a safe place and not paying rent. Yeah. Because when the sponsor coming to the Canada, they supposed to pay rent. And of course, the sponsor has some responsibility and all those things. But in the fact that some of the kind of ways, they cannot really fill all those gaps.
Right. Yes.
So I felt that if we can do these tiny houses, then they don't need to pay rent for 1 year, and just again, I can introduce them to the different unions or business, because I have lots of network, and God blessed me through those. And they can find the work, and they can save the money, and after a year, they can go to the first condo as an owner, basically.
Right, yeah.
Because they have a down payment, and they have enough background for getting a mortgage in a bank and all those things. So hopefully we can do that. So.
Yeah, sounds nice. One of the drawbacks, unfortunately, is people don't understand refugees. They think they come here and they get all these freebies and they're taking your jobs, and like all these things that make no sense whatsoever when you really look at it logically, you know? So having been a refugee, explain what the process was for you.
Okay.
So people can really understand.
Of course. So I escaped from Iran in 2009 because I had a political background, and I was arrested and detained in 1999. So anyway, it's 2009. I escaped from country and I went to the Cyprus, and I claimed as a refugee.
Okay.
As a 8.5 years I was there, and my actually son born in Cyprus. Even my case was so strong, and I had all the evidences. Even my son born there, they didn't give me any citizenship or recognize. And it's just basically the process is so broken. Most of the countries, I don't want to name it, but most of the countries, they are opening the door for refugees just because they want to have money from human rights organizations.
Right, yeah.
Because when they are introducing, for example, me as a refugee to human rights, then human rights paying money monthly for my name to that government and immigration. And that government and immigration supposed to hand that money to me. But some countries, they don't do that.
Oh, wow.
And then they leave you without any support, without any place to stay. You cannot have work because they don't give you any work permit. So you are attending to the black market. And if you get arrested, you are attending to crimes. And then you have a court process and prison and fine and all those things. So all those pressure, your financial pressure, plus the mental pressure for a refugee is a huge thing, because you want to provide for family, but you cannot.
Yeah.
And then you are following your process and paperwork to get executed that process and get some solid answer to become citizen or get a work permit, whatever. I mean, just get some future, establish your future, but they don't. And at the time, it seems that for them is nothing. Your life is nothing for anyone. Like you're spending every day, every moment with a lots of thought, with a lots of potential, talent, but you're voiceless.
Yeah.
And no one treats you as a human because you're a refugee.
Right.
And everyone thinks that you are grabbing money from those citizens of that country, but this is not true.
No.
We are bringing money from whole world to that country when we are claiming the refugee. So it's a kind of business.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You know, but no one really opened this subject that is how it works. And as long as they are dragging us on the process, this money coming and no one really think about it. Is the billions of dollars every month transaction happening between the countries and human rights, and no one really see that behind the scene.
I had no idea about the money situation, none whatsoever. Never. So this is the first time I heard it, you know, and it needs, like you said, it needs to be told. People need to know about it to understand that you're not coming here taking our government money. It's already being paid for you, but you're not getting it.
Exactly. I mean, so this is for being refugee, but I came here as a permanent resident, so not as a refugee.
Right.
So I become qualified for getting work and start to establish my life from the beginning since 2017 July. And with the engineering background, I tried to back to my career, but I couldn't. So that is another hot topic. But
Sure.
But it's a fact that I got introduced. I was lucky introduced to the trade people and unions. So then I attended as a union member and start to study, and I got my red seal very quickly. And now I am working as an estimator, project manager, and also political committee leader at Local 180.
Right. Okay, so now let's go back to the fundraiser. So where would people go
Oh, that's a good question. People can go to the website www.lovewithoutborders.com.
Nice and easy. .ca. Nice and easy to remember. www.lovewithoutborders.ca.
Exactly, without any space.
Yes, yeah.
And then we have an option for them a donation, and they can click whatever them desire is to donate the money. If they can donate $50, they can send the email and they get the free t-shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, we have
it. Love Without Borders?
Yes.
Very cool.
And we have a keychain for $25. So
right. So very good. So just think about what you just heard, that things you don't know. Most of us who were born in Canada, we have no idea what it's like to be a refugee. We really don't. We live in a totally, we might have our issues, and maybe sometimes money is a little bit of, factor, but not like what it would be when you're trying to escape a country that is the way they're run, like whether it's a communist country or
dictator is,
yeah.
It's all aspect of your life kind of get in a very bad circumstances when you're escaping, because as soon as you're escaping and claiming the refugee, that country you're coming from, they are following you. Like you don't have a safety really in any country. Even now I am citizen in Canada, I cannot claim 100% I have safety because all those terrorist hands so far and so kind of long, and they can reach you if really they want to.
Wow.
This is the fact of being a political activist in some countries, that they don't have a freedom.
Right. One thing I want to ask, if you don't mind, just a little bit differently, is it political political, what did you say, advocate?
Political activist.
Sorry. Was being female more of an issue?
Exactly. Because there's some country like Iran, or I would like to call myself, my country is Persia. It's unfortunately they have a lot of restriction for women.
Right.
So when women become activists, we are advocating for women's rights, children's rights, and especially for the girls kind of rights. And as soon as get to that, because it has a lot of conflict with the religion aspect of those, particularly Iran has lots of conflict, then they are constantly, they are making bomb in front of you, or if they cannot stop you, you're going to end up to the jail, which is I did. So.
Right, yeah. How long were you in jail for?
Well, that is a good question. My jail was like, detention, it was 3 days, but because hardly I got tortured, it's a thing that is 3 years for me, honestly. Actually, may I say my book coming?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, please.
Yes. So it's my book, actually, it's coming out in July, and it's going to launch. And hopefully the people can see how from someone born in that country, Iran, under the some very restrict religion, it's life, how can be brutal. And
you're going to have to come back when you book and bring a copy of your book so we can show it, so you can make people see that more aware, like an actually see the title.
Please, just, am I allowed to say my other name?
You can say anything you want.
Okay, that's good. Just because I would like to say thank you to who writing my journey, and her name is Darcy Reilly.
Okay.
And this is her first book.
Oh.
But she's so exciting.
Yeah.
And she is spending so much investigating in the culture, religion, and she is wonderful. And I hope that, when I read myself, the book, it's just, I'm tears. So even though I went through this journey in reality, but I don't know, some very different.
I understand. I kind of understand, because I had a traumatic childhood, and I can talk about it easily,
Yeah.
right? But if I was to see it written down, you go right to where you were, right? And it makes you very sad. So I kind of understand a little bit, you know. And obviously, I didn't go through what you did, but you know, trauma is one of those things that affects us deeply, and we often bring it forward with us.
Exactly. They never can forgotten.
Yes.
You can forgive whoever did to you, but you never can forget. That is the reality of trauma, and it is what it is. But I believe that the people can learn the best lessons of their life in the most difficult moment in their life.
And you realize how strong a person you are, right? What you can endure, which you wouldn't have thought of had you not gone through it.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk to Darcy too. You might have to bring her with you.
Of course. That
would be very exciting. So once again, so I just want to remind everybody, so this is a nonprofit, Love Without Borders. So I'm going to share, I'll make sure you see the website, okay? And look at it and just think about it. You're not forced to do anything, but if you can possibly help, you know, you're helping something. You know, we have to understand how much we have compared to what other people have, like in the ways of not only financial, but freedom, just the freedom to say what you want to say and be where you want to be. You know, as females, we're not stopped from going to school or having jobs. You know, like me, I'm an older female, live all by myself. I don't have to answer to mail telling me what I should be or should not be doing. That sort of thing. So, and I don't want to there's other stuff I could say, but I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, I just want to thank you again for being here.
This opportunity.
Anytime. And again, going to have you back. And we'll talk more about your book and about the author, Darcy, not the author, sorry, but she wrote your story for you. And so get her view and her perception and her looking into, as you said, you know, all of the political aspects of the situation. So thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everybody. And I really hope you enjoyed this interview because I sure did. And I've only met her in person once before, right?
Yes,
just recently, you know. We met on Facebook, I think. Did we meet on Facebook? I never remember.
Well, it's a Facebook, and then we went to
an event. We went to or I don't know if we could call it an event, but anyway, we'll call it that for the moment.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks again, everybody. I really hope you subscribe because that helps me do more interviews. So take care, everybody, and peace out. Look, I'm looking for the button to turn it off. Sorry, folks.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.